I mean, I want to talk to this young lady, man. She go by the name of Whitney, Kendrick Lamar's wife. Let's go. Dear Whitney, I hope you're rolling with me. I wrote you this letter, you can hit me. I hopefully that nigga ain't hitting you. I'ma punch that little munchkin in his face, boo. Yeah, that nigga, he a weirdo. I'ma hit him with a chair, though. Like Ric Flair, though. This ain't WWE. Listen, baby, Whitney, you can call me. That nigga love them pink toes. He love them snow bunnies. He love them Jessica Simpson. Yeah, that nigga be simping. That nigga kinda weird. He don't want a black girl. He want a Britney Spears, a Christina Aguilera. Yeah, that nigga kinda weirder. Talking about he the black messiah. Listen, baby girl, I'm your sire. Kenny cool. Kenny, he a kangaroo. Monkey see, monkey do. He hopping on the wave. Lucian Grange, he a slave. UMG, he gon' pay though. Knock it out the park, Conseco. Listen, baby, I'ma treat you good. I'ma smoke up on the backwoods. I'ma take you out them Compton streets. I know you ain't trying to move to New York, to that penthouse. You a Cali girl. You wanna be in Cali, girl. I understand. Listen, baby girl, let me be your man. That nigga love them white girls. It's not a secret. Listen, why he love them white girls so much? Why he love them pink toes so much? Why he love them snow bunny so much? Why he love them pink toes so much? He love them white girls. Listen, he love them white girls. Whitney, why he love them white girls? You was trying to be his whole world, but he love them white girls. That nigga crazy. Hold on. Whitney, watch out for Taylor Swift. You need to watch out for Taylor Swift. Kenny love them white girls. He love them white girls. He love them white girls. Yeah, he love them white girls. He love them pink toes. He love them pink toes. He love them pink toes. Welcome to the Check-in Report. I am your humble yet gracious host. I am in the building, true and living. I'm not your homie. My fault. I messed that up. I'm not your homie. I'm the one and only macaroni. I messed that up today. We are here to talk about a video that has gone viral of a Muslim father taking his son to prom, and his son happened to be a trans gentleman. The video's going viral, and I wanted to give my thoughts on the video. And I want to know you guys' thoughts. Is this good parenting or is this bad parenting? Listen, times have changed. A lot of parents are dealing with having trans kids, having kids that are in different communities that have different beliefs, and at the end of the day, this is your child. You want to be supportive of your child. You want to be loving of your child, even if this is not necessarily something that you agree with. I'm here to be objective. This may not be something that you may agree with. This lifestyle, what your son has adopted. He has adopted this trans lifestyle. You may not agree with it. Salute to Mad Kings. I see Mad Kings is in the building. Salute to you. Yeah, you may not agree with your son's lifestyle. You may not agree with what they're doing, but This is the lifestyle that they've chosen. And at the end of the day, you want the best for your child, right? Anybody that has kids, they want the best for their child. They want their child to be prosperous. They want their child to have a long and fruitful life. They want their child to be happy. So at the end of the day, I'm just being objective here. Just being objective. Is this good or bad parenting? Is this father being a good or bad parent to this child? I'll let you guys decide, and I think we're gonna have Cole. We're gonna do a Twitter Spaces. Actually, let me put the Twitter Spaces in the chat, just in case if you guys want to join. Anybody want to join the Twitter Spaces and talk about this topic? We're gonna play the video first, but let me put the Twitter Spaces in the chat. Give me 1 second, y'all. Give me 1 second. I just want to put this in the chat. Give me 1 second. Let me copy the link. Okay, so we're gonna put the Twitter Spaces in the chat. Yeah. We just put the Twitter Spaces in the chat for y'all. That's the Twitter Spaces if you guys want to join the Twitter Spaces and have a chat about this topic. Yeah, so join the Twitter Spaces. Join the Twitter Spaces. If you want to talk about this topic, join the Twitter Spaces. We're gonna go live on the Twitter Spaces real soon. If you guys want to join that conversation, join this conversation. Hey, Mad Kings, if you want to join the conversation, you got a Twitter, Mad Kings. Join the conversation. We're gonna talk about this video. We're gonna play the video. We're gonna talk. We're gonna contextualize this whole video and talk about this whole kerfluffle. I don't want to give my opinions yet because I feel like this is kind of this is an interesting topic because anybody that has children, that's the Twitter Spaces. When you guys want to hop on the Twitter Spaces, let me know. But I don't want to give my opinion yet on this video. I want to play it first. But people that have kids, they could be sympathetic to this. But I want to know you guys' opinion on this father. Do you think this is good parenting or bad parenting? Let's go into the video.
Husband surprised his son by taking him to the prom.
The father shows up to the prom, the son got his little fan, got the nails done. The father shows up, and I'm guessing maybe his son couldn't find someone to go to the prom with him. Nobody wanted to go to the prom with him. I'm guessing maybe that was what it was. And his father wanted to show, hey, I support you. And allegedly they're saying that this is a Muslim father. This is a Muslim man, and he wanted to show his son support.
Husband surprised his son by taking him to the prom.
Don't mess up that makeup, gather.
Now, one thing you could see in this video, even though we have the black father here and he's being supportive, notice how the environment is mostly black women. Black women are the biggest purveyors of the LGBTQ community when it comes to the black community. When it comes to the black community, the black women are the biggest purveyors. They're the biggest champions of the LGBTQ. Even though they love disrespecting heterosexual men, calling them sassy, calling them, gay slurs and things of that nature, you see black women are always championing the LGBTQ, trans kids and trans people, trans black men. You see that black women are always the biggest purveyors. I only see one black man. I didn't see not one uncle.
You don't find that suspicious?
Not one grandfather.
You don't find that suspicious?
Not one other black man in this video outside of his father.
You don't find that suspicious?
Very interesting. You see that they're surrounded by black women, and black women are championing the father supporting this this young man.
Let him fall on the floor. Let him fall. Let him fall on the floor. Baby.
Is this good parenting? Let me know. Is this good parenting? Is this where black fathers are going currently? You know, because I come from an era where we had strong black fathers in the community. They were not, in support of this. I remember a couple of black fathers. I've talked to a lot of black fathers, that were, of a different generation, of course. We're talking of a different generation. Now, I don't know how old his father is, but these were the men that I've talked to were from a different generation. I remember I used to hear black fathers say, if I had a gay son, I'm kicking him out the house. If I have a gay son, I'm kicking him out the house. I'm beating up on him. All types of, vicious things that they would do to if they had a gay son, right? Are we going into a new era of black fathers? This is not what I've known black fathers to do. I've never seen black fathers do this. Are we going into a new era of black fathers supporting their LGBTQ sons? Let me know. Do we have any fathers in the room? Do we have anybody that's a father? Anybody that has kids? Anybody that's a black father? I want to speak to you guys tonight. Make sure you join that Twitter Spaces. I want to speak to you guys. Is this the new direction that black fathers are going?
Oh, Mello's crying. He didn't know his pops was going to be there. He's crying. This is monumental.
You hear the black woman. This is monumental. Monumental.
I know. Oh. Oh. All right, come on. I need pictures. Excuse me. Ready? Good. I love the candidness. Let him know. Let him. Let's go.
So let me know what you guys think. Let's watch that one more time. Just one more time. But I want to know you guys' thoughts. Is this the new era of black fathers? Is this where black fathers are going currently? Let me know. I want to know from you guys. Or is this where black fathers are going? Or is this the new direction? And is this and I also want to know, is this good parenting? Now, I don't know if this is good parenting or not. I don't have any kids. I don't have any kids. If I had kids and I was training up my kid, I really can't talk from a perspective of a father and say if this is good or bad parenting. I know if I had kids, I would not be in support of this young man's lifestyle. I could say that. If I was a father and I had a son that, adopted this lifestyle, I would not be in support of it. I would still love him. I would still care about him. He would still, he would still have my love and affection. I would still be there for him, but I would not be in support of this lifestyle if I had a son like this. But I want to know from the fathers of today, if this were your son, I don't have kids, but if this was your son, would you be in support of him doing this? Would you? Because from what I'm hearing, this is a Muslim man. Salute to Angela. I believe that's Angela's in the building. Salute, Angela. I believe that this is a Muslim man. He was willing to, put his Quran to the side, willing to put his beliefs to the side and say, you know what? Even though the Quran speaks against this, even though what I believe is against this, I care about my son enough to show up to his prom and give him support. Is this good or bad parenting? Let's watch this again. Let's get into this one more time. A Muslim man supports his son, his LGBTQ plus son, and goes to the prom with him. Hopefully Elijah E. Cole comes on. I want to speak to him about this. I want to get his perspective on this. Let's play this video one more time.
Husband surprised his son by taking him to the prom.
And like I said, I believe, salute to Angela. Angela says, D. Wade and Marlon Wayans have L children. Yeah, they do. And, they're supportive of their children. And both of them are, or they claim to be, I don't know if they are, but they claim to be heterosexual men, and they have been supporting their sons. But, I can't really speak from a perspective of if this is good or bad parenting. I want to hear from the people who have kids. Is this good parenting? Is it, whether you believe in your child's lifestyle or not, is it good parenting to support them in their lifestyle? If let's say if this is something that you your system of belief, what you believe in, what you know, and what you believe in, right? If this is totally antithetical to what you believe in, are you willing to put that to the side for the happiness of your son? Because that's what this man did, essentially, from what I'm hearing. I want to know from you guys, especially anybody that has kids, could you do this? Could you do this? Because me personally, if I had a son, again, I'm not a parent. If I had a son, I could not do this. I could not support my son in his lifestyle. I would still love him. I would still care about him. I would still support him, as my child. But am I going to support you in your lifestyle? Am I going to support you in the way you choose to live your life? No. This would be kin to my child being a drug addict to me. This would be kin to my child living a destructive life to me. So I want to hear from you people who have kids. If you have kids, if you have a son, a daughter, and they chose to live this lifestyle, are you willing to put your beliefs aside for the happiness of your child? Are you willing to do that? Let's get into it. Got the fan. He's fanning himself. And listen, and you see it on his face. He's having tears come down his face because he see that his father is there to support him. This is probably a man who probably gets made fun of in school, who probably doesn't get the support from his other family members, who a lot of people talk down on him, and for him to see his father support him, I would think that would feel good for him, right? Let's continue.
Don't mess up that makeup, gather.
And they're saying that he's a Muslim man. If he's a Muslim man, that means he was willing to put his Hadith, his Quran, to the side for the happiness of his child. Salute to Angela. Angela says, my adult children is not L words, but if she was, I would support her for her mental health and out of love, as long as you were respectful to me and my extended family. I could respect that. I could respect that. At the end of the day, I could respect, because at the end of the day, if you choose to support your child in that type of lifestyle, that's your choice. Maybe you don't have that belief system. Maybe you're not necessarily, against that type of lifestyle, and you're not against, your child living that type of lifestyle. Listen, if you love your child, at the end of the day, you just want to see them happy. It's not necessarily about the lifestyle that they're choosing to live. It's more so about their happiness. And if this is what makes this child happy, then it is what it is, and you want it for them. Salute to FBA Hustle. He says he put his deen to the side. That's a fact. He did. He put his deen to the side. His Hadith, his Quran. He put it to the side for the happiness of his child. Would you guys be in support of this?
Wait, let him fall on the floor. Let him fall. Let him fall on the floor. Oh, poor baby. Oh. Hold on. Look up. Oh, Mellow's crying. He didn't know his pops was going to be there. He's crying.
See, he didn't know his father was going to be there. He did not know. He had no clue that his father was going to be there. His father, so essentially his father, came and surprised him, if you will. Surprised him, let him know that he was, listen, I am in support of you. I know that my Quran says that this is something that I should not support. I know that my Quran says that this is something that I should not be in partial to, but you know, I'm willing to put that to the side for the embetterment of my child's life. Are you guys in support to this? I'm gonna hop on Twitter Space. I think I'm gonna try to get Elijah E. Cole on here and see what he says about this whole kerfluffle here. 'Cause I do want to hear what he has to say in terms of that. Hold on, let me see if I can get him in here. Um, hold on, y'all, hold on. Okay, let me see if I can get him in here. Got it. All right, I'm in here. Bet. Okay, I'm in the Twitter. Okay, Eco's in here. All right, I'm gonna try to. I'm gonna switch over. Hold on. Give me 1 second. I'm gonna try to switch over on the. Okay, he's requested. Okay, hold on. Give me 1 second, y'all. We're gonna get E. Cole on here. Y'all give me 1 second. We're gonna have E. Cole on here. We're gonna give his thoughts on here. Yo, you hear me? You hear me? Oh, my fault. Yo, you hear me? Yo, you hear me? Yo. Oh, his mic is muted. All right, y'all give me 1 second. We're gonna hop on Twitter Spaces. We're gonna talk about this. Yo. You hear me? All right, give me 1 second. I want to put everything on my screen. Give me 1 second. Okay. Give me 1 second. Because I'm going to do it from my phone. Let me just get everything. Dang, why did I do that? Shit. What the fuck? What the hell? Okay. Yo. Hey, give me 1 second. I'm still trying to figure this out. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, somewhere you gotta get Discord. I think that would
probably better.
Compatible. More compatible, but the spaces thing.
Right.
Is good as far as making it easier for everybody. Because everybody pretty much has Twitter. So
yeah.
Like to transfer to Twitter to get more engaged instead of just typing all the time.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, I want people to hop on. You know, I want people to hop on. Let me put the thing on this screen. Hold on. Y'all hear E. Cole? Hold on. Do y'all hear him? Hold on. Let me see if I can. Maybe I'll just do it from the speaker. Do y'all hear E. Cole?
Yo, what's going on, y'all?
Do y'all hear him?
Let me get ones and twos. Let me get some ones and twos in the chat.
Is his voice faint? Oh,
nah,
they said they don't hear you. Hold on. They said they don't hear you. Hold on.
Ones and two in the chat, nigga.
I know what to do. Hold on. Give me 1 second. I'm gonna hop in a different account.
I'm chilling. I'm over here editing, so.
Yeah, I definitely want to get your thoughts on this though, because this is important. This is definitely because I know what your stance is gonna be. That's why I definitely want to hear it.
Yo, the dude's Muslim too.
Yeah. That's the crazy thing about it.
There's no way. I don't know what do they call them?
Well, what's that?
Whatever they call them, the little what are they temples called?
You talking about the mosque?
Yeah, I don't know what mosque he a part of.
saying, you know, you part of the temple. You know, he got.
Code of brotherhood. You see what they done to Malcolm X.
Yeah, that's a fact. That's
I
a
don't know
fact.
what his mom's gonna do to him, man.
This host is recorded. Everyone that speaks will be included. Why they won't let me just listen to the damn thing? What the hell, bro?
Let's see something. Oh,
Let me see. Let me see. There's always an issue with this thing, man. It was working pretty good the other time I did it. Hold on, man. This is some
yeah.
bullshit.
Next time we probably got to do I guess like a test on the test before
Yeah.
the show.
Yeah, that's a fact. That's a fact. That's a fact.
Because a lot of people, well, they used to this time for you to start. So
Hold on. Shit, man.
if you try to connect to a speaker,
Nah, I'm trying to get. I'm trying to I'm trying to I'm trying to have it play on the screen, but it's not letting me do it.
hey, come on, Gigi. Come on.
All right, here we go. I think we got it going. All right. Finally. All right, we got it. All right, man. Let me turn off the mic on my thing, and we're gonna get to it. All right, I apologize for y'all. We're gonna get into this topic. Turn off that mic. All right, and just have the speak on. All right, let's get into it. Let's get into it, man. So in terms of that topic, because I know you've seen the video. You've seen the video. I want to know what were your thoughts when you saw that father, you know, out there supporting that son. You know, you saw him out there doing, came there to support him. How did you feel about it?
I mean, I think anytime when you have let's assume he's a heterosexual male.
Right.
You're a heterosexual father, and you see your son take on the likeness of the mother, like very effeminate, um,
Right.
to the T, hair, nails, the way they maintenance themselves as a woman, the attitude, broken wrist, switching they walk.
Right.
I think you failed as a parent, you
Mm.
know. You failed as a parent. Like as
So
a
you think he
father,
failed as a parent?
definitely. As a parent, you're supposed to raise up your child unto the likeness of yourself, you
Right.
know? So your children is a literal reflection of you. So if
Right.
you're a heterosexual male and you don't have any examples of femininity, and your son comes out not masculine, then there's an issue there. And I get it. Like a lot of people, like especially men in today's society, we get demonized for being masculine, which is not normal. That's an issue.
Fact.
That's an issue. Yeah. So as a father, I felt like it was
Uh
very disappointing. I felt like he picked out the son's dress as well because they had the same colors.
huh.
Like, did they go
I don't
shopping
think
together and they went the
I
same
don't think
tailor?
he picked out the dress. Come on,
I
you think
mean,
he
they
picked
both
out
was
the
wearing the
dress?
same. It was like the same material. Like
They were matching. They were matching, but I don't think
it
because
was the
from what I'm
same. It
in
was
the
the same
video, it looked like he
materials.
surprised him. It like he surprised him in the video. Like it was a surprise. Like, yo, surprise! I'm here to support you. I'm here to back you. You know, so it was almost like a surprise. he wasn't expecting, because when his father pulled up, he started breaking down. So I'm guessing like this is something maybe he'd been struggling with his father. Like maybe his father wasn't in full support of it.
Yeah, maybe. I listen. I'm gonna be real with you.
Uh-huh.
I don't watch the full video. I
You haven't
couldn't
watched the
bear to
full thing?
I couldn't bear to watch the full video. I'm sorry. I only saw little clips like here and there, like with the
Right.
son reacting a little bit. Like
Uh-huh.
what is this get up right here? Like it's very
Yeah,
confusing because
it was like
it's
a
a
suit
tuxedo
dress, right?
gown.
Yeah, it was like a tuxedo up top, and it was a gown down.
Yeah, so I'm
It was
like,
crazy.
is this real or is this
Right.
like is this a joke? Because he looked
Right.
like
Right.
a fictional character off the Boondocks. I'm like, what's going on here? You got the concholine pressed hair, bow
Now,
tie, like it's mad confusing. I'm
now, I
like,
was asking people in the chat when I was breaking down the video, what would you do in this scenario? Let's say hypothetically, you had a son that was in this lifestyle, right? And they just wanted you to support them, right? They just wanted you to support them. How would you have handled this prom thing? You got a son, he has nobody to go to prom with. He's dressed in his tuxedo up top and his gown down low. How do you handle that? How do you deal with it? How do you handle, like, how would you handle this situation?
uh, I mean, it's like honestly, people gonna hate me, man, because I'm gonna
Nah,
be
just
real.
keep it real, man. Keep it
I'm gonna
real,
keep
man.
it. I'm gonna keep it thorough. I'm gonna keep it 100.
Yeah.
I mean, yo, listen, man, you cut off, man. You cut off.
Uh, cut
Cut
him
off.
off.
Yeah, man. I'm sorry. Honestly, this is what you see when uh a a, a child is raised by a godless woman. I'm
Okay.
that you could tell that I guess from the reactions that you were saying,
Right.
where the son was crying, I
Uh-huh.
guess this probably has been a dispute, between the father and the son,
Mm.
about his maybe his sexuality or his choices and stuff like that.
Right.
And what surprises me as a father, like,
Mm-hmm.
as a male figure, you not trying hard enough to uh help your son steer
Right.
him in the right direction as of yourself. You know what I'm saying? Because
That's
you're
a
a
fact.
heterosexual male, so it's a failure on your behalf.
Right.
Initially, when I saw this, because I didn't know about the crime thing, I thought that the father needed to be investigated.
Right.
To be honest, because there's something going on. If you posing yourself as a straight man and
Uh-huh.
you're taking your son to the prom,
Right.
there's something wrong there. I feel like that's a little too intimate.
Right.
That's my full opinion. But yeah, I would definitely cut off. Just like Lawrence Fishburne, his daughter, she had everything given to her and she
Mm-hmm.
went off to, go viral because I guess she seen what success of being a porn actress, not a porn actress, but being a an explicit model,
Right.
would be. She probably thought she would get some type of fame or notoriety. She probably thought she would be the next, like, uh, Anderson, but her career didn't go off the way she expected it to.
Right.
And initially, I don't know if he cut her off, but you haven't heard of her since.
Right. That's a fact.
And it's the same with
Montana
that too. I would
Fishburne.
I
Yeah.
would I would I would cut off a child if they decided to go into that lifestyle too. If they
Right.
wanted to be a porn star, if they,
Mm-hmm.
it's the same thing. It's not just a sexuality thing. I just feel like, when you raise your children to be a certain way, and
Mm-hmm.
then they decide to rib off, then all right, go ahead, do your own thing.
Right.
Yeah.
What do you think? Because I spoke about this as well. What do you think about the environment of? Because I was looking at the video. I was like, there's no other black men there. It's only the father, and it's really just an element of black women just being, supporting this whole thing right here. And I said that black women, they're the biggest purveyors of the LGBTQ in the black community. I mean, they're the first ones to support it. So, what do you think about the environment of black women supporting this type of
this type of lifestyle and this type of way of life, and because because I don't see no black men outside of his father. I don't see no uncles. I don't see no grandfathers. I don't see no no type of black men outside of his father there.
This is the failure of spirituality and
Mm,
real spirituality in the black community. Like,
right.
you know, I'm pretty sure they go to a sassy Christian church, where niggas is playing tambourines,
Right. Right.
jumping around, doing that, that doing the stomping on the ground and everything with their head down.
Falling out.
Yeah,
Put the white sheet
fainting.
on them, huh? Huh?
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Doing all that extra
Right.
nonsense. And this is what we see. This is
Right.
what transpires from that.
Mm-hmm.
This is what occurs from that. And
Mm,
I think yes, it is a failure of either pushing masculine men away,
right.
from training up children, leading the households. I
Mm-hmm.
feel like that's been the ongoing conversation.
Right.
A lot of people, when men actually led in households, especially in the black community,
Mm-hmm.
like, there was more success, and we didn't see the same troubles that we have now
Mm,
in our community. And I think, like, I thank God that I had a strong mother. She
right.
only could play a mother, but
Mm-hmm.
she never played the father. She understood that us as young men, we had to take on certain roles and stuff like that, and learn how to be men. She never
Right.
stopped us from being men. A lot of, actually, women in today's society like to control the men in the families and stuff like that. They almost act like they're that's their husband, and
Mm-hmm.
they get in the way of their love lives and stuff like that, and that
Right.
that causes problem. That causes some men to hate women, you know.
That's a fact.
So I think
That's a
that's
fact.
that's a part of the trouble in today's society, like,
So you think
uh,
this is more so a black woman and the feminization of black men and them supporting it? You would say that's more so what this is?
yeah, it looked like a defeat. Like I said, I don't know if he was in his son's life as much. If he
Uh huh.
was or wasn't, he's a defeated man. This is
Uh
a
huh.
defeated man that we see here. You know what I'm saying? We don't. Apparently, he's Muslim, but you
Hmm.
know what I'm saying. Them standing next together, they might as well get some tambourines in their hand. This is low risk energy. It really is. So it's sad.
Mm.
How do you feel about it? You
Well,
playing
listen.
Switzerland over here.
I'm being objective to the situation. I mean, do I
Okay.
do
All
I
right.
do I agree with it morally? Absolutely not. If I had a son, would I be in support of it? Absolutely not. But if I'm being objective to the situation, um, from a moral perspective, no, there's no way I can support this. But if you're a parent and let's say you don't necessarily subscribe to a belief system of this being wrong and that being wrong and
Hmm.
LGBTQ this that, I could see a parent saying that what, I don't agree with this, but I want the best for my child. I could see that point. I could see a father saying, "Yeah, I'm a Muslim. I have a hadith, and I believe in this
That's
spiritual system."
exactly what I was about to get into.
Right.
That's exactly what I was about to get into.
Uh
I
huh.
feel like, do you, is it okay? I guess. Well, we would have to ask a Muslim this, really.
Now we can look this up.
That's
I'm on. I'm on.
it's.
I'm
I
on.
don't. I don't. It goes against his beliefs, but it's
Let's
just
look
the
this up.
fact of the matter that, would you compromise your beliefs
Right.
for the sake of your family?
Right. For the happiness of your child.
Yeah,
Essentially. Yeah.
you know,
Yeah. I mean, that's what it really is, because it's more so you putting your
yeah.
beliefs to the side and saying,
If your
well,
daughter wanted to be a stripper and she want
right.
to strip to get that tuition money, would you support? Would you
Absolutely not.
would you be in
Absolutely.
that? No, not you.
Right. 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 No, I know what
I'm
you
just
mean,
throwing it
but
out there though.
Yeah.
You go
See,
to the
see,
club and
I
throw
didn't.
some bills out there.
I wasn't even looking at it like that. I looked at it like this is like this is like a same situation if your child was a drug addict. If your child was a drug addict and he felt happy in being a drug addict, would you support it? I looked at it like that.
Mm,
I say, yo, this is like almost the same thing as that. It's like this is something that you morally don't agree with. It's something that you don't support, and this is a lifestyle that you're never going to support. So, I mean, yeah, you love your child and you want them to be happy, but is their happiness worth, you know, going down this lifestyle? Like, I mean, come on. No
hmm.
son, no father wants to raise a son knowing that he's on his hands and knees and come on. I don't got to put the whole picture in your head, but you know what I'm saying. No father wants that for his son.
Yeah, exactly. And I see the comment that Angela put up. I'm not gonna really focus on that comment, but I will
I'll read
say
it.
that's nah. I mean, I'm saying I'm not trying to focus on that because I feel like
Right.
that's a lot of the problem in
Uh huh.
society today, where people get married
Right.
and they
Well, I'm gonna
have
be honest.
children.
We can't really put it on the women too much because even
No,
though.
no, 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 no. You didn't even know where I was about to go.
All right, go ahead. Go ahead. Go ahead.
I'm
Go ahead.
saying people shouldn't have children in general unless they're gonna see the distance in a
Okay.
situation. Because some people have children with somebody and they know they not really gonna have the distance with that person,
Hmm.
and they'll be like, "Oh, well, I'm gonna take my child like away
Right.
from you." You know what I'm saying?
Uh
And
huh.
that should never be a situation in any union. When y'all
Right.
both decide to have a child, it's not up to you to be like, "Oh, this is my kid. You can't have access to that kid." No, that's y'all's child.
Right.
You can't be the only one. That it's not a dictatorship when it comes up to a child. You should never have a child if
Right.
you have that type of mentality, period. you
That's a
know
fact.
you're better off being by yourself alone. You could date, deal with whoever you want to, but don't have children if you feel like you could be like, "Oh, I'm the dictator in this child's life. I'm going to control their thoughts and I'm going to control what they consume." That's not how the world works.
In your opinion, knowing that this young man he went down this lifestyle, would it be
Hmm.
safe to say that his father wasn't there? Because I would say his father doesn't look like a zesty guy. His father looks like a straight leg guy. I don't know what he believes in morally. They're saying he's a Muslim, but he looks like a
Hmm.
straight leg guy. He looks like a heterosexual guy. Would it be safe to say that he probably wasn't around in his child's life for the formative years in order for I mean because I would have to think some type of indoctrination happened to this young man for him to go down this path in life.
Yeah, of course. I think
Right.
it's like feminine energy. He's
Right.
That's probably all he's been around. Like you said, there were no other men in that video besides the father that came, I guess, to support him.
Right.
And I feel like, as a person that, like, I guess it's not even just research. You've
Hmm.
seen real life examples of people who turned out the way they turned out by being around a bunch of feminine energy and never been corrected.
Right.
Like, I think that's somebody like these women, they will embrace that, but they'll also give the influences, like they'll almost feed that into that child as if that's someone who you would date. Like, no, that's
Hmm.
not somebody you would date. So why wouldn't you want your son to become a young man? Why wouldn't you want to correct those errors that you see? Like, he's grabbing
Right.
your bags, he's trying to put on your shoes. You're supposed to tell him, like, even as a kid, like, you got to let him know, like, no, that's not for you,
Right.
and you got to be stern about it. Don't laugh. I think that's what he probably grew up around, with them laughing and cheering
Hmm.
them on to do it
Right.
and thinking that it's fine. But in reality, you're kind of destroying the path of that young man, of building the legacy of your family.
Right.
So, and I don't think people have that type of rationale nowadays because everybody wants to be so political
Hmm.
and wants to, and then yet they want to complain about men in society today and how effeminate they are and how disrespectful they are towards women. You kind of led that path. You kind of shown those examples that men shouldn't respect women. You didn't like, and I hold accountability to men too. But
Right.
like I said, it goes into the example that the young lady just wrote, like where she would take away a child from a father. You supposed to allow that balance of that feminine energy and that masculine energy, so he know how to deal with women and he know how to be a man, especially for a man.
Mm.
And the same thing goes for women. You know, that they learn the examples from their father. You know how men supposed to treat them, or how men are not supposed to treat them, depending on what type of man he is. But you're
What
supposed to have those examples.
What do you think about him going to prom with his father? Because I wouldn't think that, most kids that I grew up with, they wouldn't want to go to prom with their parent. Whether whether they were supportive of their lifestyle or not. Like they
Yeah,
don't.
it always been like a cousin or something. If worst come to worst, you know
Yeah,
what I'm
even
saying?
even people going by themselves.
Yeah.
Instead of going with a mother or a father. I mean, you just look kind
Yeah,
of
I
crazy.
always thought that was weird. Yeah, when a parent would go with their child, you know. And I'm not
Yeah.
saying that they're weird, like they're weirdos, but I just feel like it's always been weird to me.
Right. Right.
Like it's just been weird to me. Like I don't think there was efforts taken for them to, like find somebody like a family friend, that's
Hmm.
around their age, you know.
But
There was no.
they would have to. It would either have to be a female or a dude that's in agreement with that lifestyle. I don't think he probably don't have a cousin or something like that that's in agreement, but that's a male cousin. I mean, I'm sure no male, no, even if he had a male cousin, I'm sure they would not want to go with him. That would look crazy. Like that would look kind of crazy.
Yeah, I think exactly. I think nowadays it's friends that go together.
Right. Right.
Like a
Right.
bunch
Yeah.
of friends, they'll get a party bus or something like that,
Uh huh.
and they'll all go together.
Mm.
But this looked like it's somewhere in the south, so maybe
Oh
I
yeah,
don't know.
definitely close to Atlanta.
Yeah, maybe the father was incarcerated. He been
Marietta.
around. You said Marietta.
Yeah, Marietta,
Yeah,
Georgia, somewhere near that Georgia area.
and yeah, there's a lot of that. So maybe they're used. Like I said, the father may have been incarcerated, or
Yeah. Uh huh.
it's definitely a custom in Georgia.
Uh huh.
So he's probably used to working around that, being around that, and he thought like, hey, forget my spirituality. I'm gonna be here for my for my daughter.
Right.
You know.
For his daughter. You mean his son? That's Listen, man. Donald Trump is in office, man. He fixed all of that, man. That's his
Yeah,
son.
I mean, yeah, but it's confusing though. It really is
Right.
confusing.
Not anymore.
No, I'm just saying that this outfit is confusing.
Nah, the outfit is crazy. I ain't gonna hold you.
I
The
don't get it.
outfit is
It
crazy.
don't make sense because it's a suit dress.
He's a gentleman up top, and he's a diva down low.
Yeah, like the whole thing is just is crazy. It's crazy. But hey,
Nah.
that's things are getting wicked. We are
So let,
living in
let, let me
Babel.
throw this let me throw this curveball at you then. All right. Let's say you meet a girl, right? You meet a girl, beautiful girl. You meet her, you have a kid. Things don't work out. You're not incarcerated, but things don't work out, right? Let's
Hmm.
say she lives let's say she lives in another state. She
Hmm.
wants she wants custody of the kid. You can have them you can have your kid in the summer, but she wants the kid during the school months, right?
Okay.
So during the whole time of you having your child, she gets to see the child during the school months. So you got to remember, people get indoctrinated at school more so than anything, right? So
Hmm.
your child is growing up. They're getting indoctrinated with LGBTQ propaganda, and they take on this lifestyle. at what point as a parent do you step in and say, okay, I have to
It,
stop this, because you're not going to be there all the time. Because I'm thinking this is probably what happened to him. This is probably a man who probably wasn't in his child's life, all the time. He didn't wake up to see his father every day, like you said, possibly incarcerated. He wasn't around. Where do you start to stop this indoctrinate? Because clearly he must have been indoctrinated at some point.
my first start would be getting him out of that school.
Right.
Yeah, he would have to get out of that school
Mm.
because that it's not necessary. They're not, first of all, they're not really teaching children the
Hmm.
necessary tools to survive out here. They're not
Right.
teaching children taxes. They're not teaching children how to invest, when they go on to their careers and stuff like that, like giving them the tools, the necessary tools for them to apply themselves
Right.
outside of an occupation. Like, as an adult, many of us don't know how to do our taxes. Many of us
Right.
don't think about life insurance. They don't think about mortgages and stuff like that. They
Hmm.
don't prepare you for those things in school. So why are we learning about all these other sexualities? Like, you know what I'm saying? I think
Yeah,
as
but
people, we we
mhm.
we should just learn how to they don't even teach us true American history. So
Right.
why are we learning about, all this other political things as
Hmm.
far as sexuality for kids, like for
Hmm.
children, I'm saying, for children. Children are already gonna know how to uh have decorum. That's what they those are the like the primary things that children are taught from young, having respect for each other,
Right.
having respect for each other's beliefs. That's cool, but don't make that the mandatory subject when there's
Hmm.
other things in reality that we need to know that
But
that is that are more important.
how do you stop it? Because yeah, like, okay, you could take them out of the school
Hmm.
if they're still being indoctrinated by movies, the kids in the neighborhood, because there may not be kids in school, might be kids in the neighborhood. It may be the mother, the woman that you had a child with. She may be in
Hmm.
support of this. She may not mind having a gay son. Like, what can
Or
you do?
yeah, yeah.
What can you do to stop this if your son is taking on this type of lifestyle, and you're not there every day to stop this, or to stop the
Wait,
indoctrination?
now you saying the son is taking on a lifestyle, or he's being influenced by the lifestyle?
I would say
Because
both.
there's a
I would say
see,
both.
taking
I would say
on the lifestyle, they already have been exposed to certain things, because you're not just going to take on a lifestyle
uh-huh.
when you have a figure, like
Right.
I'm saying, a figure that's giving you the examples, that's teaching you.
Okay, so
Because
let me so
I,
let, let
I
me
feel
lay it out
like
like this.
parents are the ones that teach their children or expose them to certain things.
Let's say they're being influenced to this lifestyle, and they identify with it. Let's say they are being
So just
influenced.
you might as well say that your child is gay. That's
Right.
what you said.
No, but see,
Because you mentioned the influence.
well,
Influence is one
think
thing,
about
and
it.
that
Hear me out on this. Hear
I'm
me out
saying
on
your
this.
influence as a parent is much superior.
Hear me out on this. Hear
Yeah.
me out on this. Right? We can't say for sure that child is gay. If first of all, when a child is growing up, their frontal lobe is not even fully developed, so they're not sure of what they are, who they're going to be. They don't have the proper education. They don't it takes a while for a child's frontal lobe to fully develop, for them to fully
Yeah, so
mature.
that's
So
why I said influence, because before you kind of twisted it from influence to, you said they were partaking. So that's why I had to
no,
make
not
sure.
partaking. More so,
Not
just being
yeah,
influenced, influence, and maybe feeling like identifying, not partaking, but
yeah,
identifying
but
and being influenced.
but when you saying identify, that means that uh, you gave the example of a child, so a child doesn't really identify as anything. You know what I'm saying? Children,
I
they don't know
disagree.
about the
I
children. Nah,
disagree.
I disagree. All right, we could go into that, because
Look,
children,
you
they
ever seen
hold
you
on,
ever seen
hold
those?
on. Let me talk. Let me get my point off. children, yeah, they can say they're a dinosaur and stuff like that. You know
Okay.
what I'm saying? That's a figment of their imagination. They don't know what sexuality really is. Like you said, they don't have a fully developed brain. So
Hmm.
they don't know or could really even fathom what sex is. You know, they only can see the examples of what sex is or intimacy is or anything romantic. They don't understand that. So like I said, they could take on habits like whether they'll wear something or they'll follow the characteristics of their parents or the influences around them, but they can't really identify with what those things are. That's what I mean by like
Okay. Now,
identifying.
see, you're talking about sex. I'm talking about identifying in other things, not identifying in sex.
But we stand on the subject of this though. This is
Yeah, but
about
okay,
sex.
but hear me out on because I'm saying identify in this manner, like because they got little boys and little like beauty pageants. You ever seen that? They got little they put
That
little
doesn't mean
boys.
they identifying
They
though. That's what I'm saying.
if
They're
if they're partaking in that lifestyle, would you not say that they identify? If a child, if a young child, hear me
see
out. No, no, no. Hear
that's
me.
what
I'll
you were
let you talk.
saying,
Hear me out.
partaking.
Hear me out. Hear me out.
That's
I'll
what I
let you
was
talk.
talking
I'll
about.
let you talk. If a young child is in a drag queen competition at a young age, would you not say that they are identifying with the lifestyle? They're identifying. They're in
No, they
what other young
not.
child, what other 9 year old would do that? The most 9 year olds that when I grew up, they were in football practice, they were in basketball practice. They were playing softball. They were probably different type of sports. They riding their bike. They was doing things that young boys do. But if a young boy is in a drag queen competition, I would say he identifies with that lifestyle.
No, I don't. I would disagree. I think that's the failure on the parents because the parents
That's
are
true.
pushing. Yeah,
That's true.
that's what I'm saying. That's an influence. That's an influence. A child doesn't make that decision on their own. They're only going to follow the influences of their parent. A young man has no business in a beauty pageant, dressing up as a young woman, unless his parent is kind of imposing or influencing
Not
that
true.
that
Not
you
true.
don't think you think a child just decides to do
If
that without the parent pushing them?
Think about it. Look at all the propaganda in movies. A child turns on a movie. He turns on his favorite TV
This is
show.
more than a movie. This is your
Yeah, nah, but
household.
I'm
This is
see,
your
see,
household, though.
it's deeper than just a child going to school and
So you
him being
saying
indoctrinated.
you
No, hold
saying
on, hold
hold
on,
on, you
hold on,
saying
hold on,
no no
hold
no,
on, hold on.
I'm just
Now,
trying to get your
I'm trying to
point.
land. I'm
I'm
trying to
trying to
land. Just
get
let me
your
land.
let me ask you let me
Let
ask
me
a
land
question
though.
to your
Let me
point
land it.
though.
Let me
Let me
land.
ask a question to your point. I'm gonna
Yeah,
let
but
you land. Let me ask a question.
oh my
This is
goodness, you go.
supporting
I'm
what
gonna
you're
forget my
saying.
point now.
All right, go ahead, man. Come on.
Because
You could have
I'm
just let
saying
me.
because you're putting it on just the kid. You're putting it on the parents and just saying their influence. But children could be influenced in different ways. They may play a video game and get influenced like that. They may listen to a song and get influenced like that. They may watch a TV show, a movie, and be influenced like that. There's other ways to influence people than just their parents bringing a dress and some high heels to them. There's other ways to a child may see a cross dresser on TV and he may say, "Oh, I like that. I want to do that, mommy." So I mean, there's other ways to influence. So I'm saying that there's different ways to influence, and they may identify with that influence if they see it on TV. Now, I agree with your point that it's up to the parents to steer them in the right direction and tell them, no, that's not what young boys do, and no, that's not what you should be doing, little Timmy, and that's not right, and you're going to be a strong young man. You're not going to be wearing dresses. It's for a parent to put them in the right direction and guide them. But I mean, there's influences in a lot of ways that is steering kids in these wild directions. Now, yeah, there you go. That was
Which
my point.
everything that you just said was influence. That's not identity. Like that's why I'm saying like identity is. I feel like for anyone to develop an identity, that's when
Hmm.
they're in the adult stages because even through teenage years, you still figuring yourself out. You still figuring what you like, what type
Right.
of woman you like, what type of food you like, what type of balance, like what type of sports academically that you like,
Hmm.
So that's what I'm saying. As a toddler, as a child, in those infinite stages, you you don't know yourself enough to have an identity. That's my point. All of these things that you mentioned, like TV, what they wear and stuff like that, that's not having an identity. That's more so the influences, like just like watching
Oh, well,
your
I
favorite.
didn't say
Yeah,
identity. I said identify.
yeah, but
That's not I.
identify.
That's not
Yeah,
necessarily
when you
identity.
but when you identify with something, that stems from a sense of identity. Like I identify myself as this. That's a part of your identity. So
That's
that's
not
why I'm saying,
necessarily true because
yeah,
you
yes,
may see, you may see Superman on TV. You identify with him as a hero. That doesn't
no,
mean that you can.
you
That doesn't.
you're
That doesn't mean.
influenced.
Yeah, but
You're
I'm not
influenced. That's
necessarily. I'm not necessarily saying that a young boy is going to see a gay man on TV and say, "Oh, now I want to be a full gay man now." But he may see things that he may like, and he may say, "Oh, I want to do that," or I want to be like that," or "I see myself in this person."
yeah. I mean, like
I
I
mean,
said, that's but that all that's
we
yeah.
see that
I
today.
get what I get what you're saying with that, but I feel like
Look at that young boy
that's still
at the Trump
influence.
convention. Look at the young
That's
boy at the
still
Trump convention.
influence.
Look at the young boy at the Trump convention. He wants to be a cop. He's a young man. He wants to be a cop. He sees himself being a cop. He's a young man still, growing up, and but he sees something he identifies with. He has a sense of identity. He's identifying with this. So why would that be crazy? Because I don't think his father pushed him into that. I think he saw something he liked. He saw cops. He
Yeah, but
saw
nah. I'm not saying his father pushed him into that. Just but also his father supports it.
right,
You get what I'm saying? So that's why that goes all into the beauty pageant thing. Like your child doesn't come up with the choices of what their next move is. It's always your parent. Actually, they'll support you or they won't support you. It's not like a kid get, it could be gangs around and stuff like that, and if your family don't come from no gang member family, they're not going to support that. They're not going to back that
right,
up. Yeah, no matter how influenced you are by it, it's like, nah, this is not what we do in this household. You're not doing that. I'm gonna put you in sports. I'm gonna have something that I'm saying for most parents that are active in a child's life, they're gonna
right.
do anything to push them away from that.
Uh huh.
So that's why I'm saying, as a parent, you have that control over your kid, and you're
Right,
supposed to train up a child. If you're not doing that, you're failing as a parent. You not
right.
see that the problem with today's society, everybody want to be friends with their kids, and you're not. That's not something that's that's intelligent. Like an intelligent person. That's why a lot of people shouldn't be having kids, because these
Hmm.
people, they're kids themselves. They don't know to think. They can't even think properly for themselves. They can't use their discernment enough to know whether, oh, this is a good decision, this is a bad decision, because
Hmm.
everything has a side effect to it. So if you just doing this for giggles and stuff like that, like, oh, this is cute, this is innocent, and it's going to have a long-term side effect on that kid's life. He may end up suicidal later, the kids,
Right.
that the young men that end up in those beauty pageant, because when they grow up and realize, like, yo, I'm a boy, I shouldn't have been involved in that. And kids make fun of them, you know what I'm saying? They find out that's what they was doing as a kid. Now they confused about who they are and stuff like that, because they didn't have an actual parent, think out, not, I feel like that's the selfish act, number one. But I'm saying, as a parent, they're not thinking as like, yo, my he's a young man, he's gonna grow up a man.
Hmm.
They're not knowing whether he's gonna be this or that or whatever. So that the child may develop certain type of mental issues or whatever. I'm just saying, as a parent, your job is to really make sure your kids are having fun. That's number one. But also being a child, they shouldn't be dealing with anything that has anything to do with sexuality, because that is sexuality. For your young men to dress up as a young woman, first of all, that's pederasty. That's a form of pederasty. There's a bunch of adults in a room watching children. Even young girl beauty pageants is a form of pederasty as well. Why are these young women putting
I
on
agree.
makeup and wearing dresses and heels and stuff like that? These are children. And I don't think a lot of people are seeing the future side effects of this, because when you play this identity game where people get changed who they are, these people are going to start identifying as, oh, I identify as a minor. And it could be 35 years old.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? That this is the chain reaction that will happen, that will occur to this. I remember there was a situation, this was in real life. I think you talked about it before, where a
Hmm.
young man, he was a 12-year-old, he was dressed as a young woman and went to a men's bar.
Right. I know you're talking about. That was a long time ago. Yeah, I know you're talking about.
Yeah,
Yeah, I think you're talking
and
about.
that was completely wrong. But then there were people excusing that matter. So
Right.
there's a lot of pederasty in this, this this the sexuality topic with some of these communities, you know.
In your overall conclusion, who failed this young man? Because I feel like you want to say that somebody failed this young man. Who failed this young man? Was it the father? Was it the mother? Both of them, or was it the community?
All right, I'm gonna say whoever was there to raise him. The reason why I would say whoever was there to raise him, because I don't know if the father was incarcerated. I
Right.
don't know. I don't know if he lived in a different state. I don't know. I really don't know their relationship. You know what I'm saying? But I know that as a parent, it's your duty to raise up your child to be the sex that they are, and not, like, I feel like that's maliciously done if you want your child to be something other than the sex that they are. I think that's a malicious act or irresponsible
Well,
act.
we don't know
Especially,
that. We don't know that. I mean, he
we don't know
possibly.
enough. We don't know
Yeah,
enough
we
of
don't know
anything,
enough.
but
Well, I can't say that.
we see what we see.
Right.
I'm just going based off of what we see. I'm going based off
I
of
would
what we
say
see.
I would
We
say there was some
we got
indoctrination, and he went that path. I would say that he was definitely. I would say he's indoctrinated, but I wouldn't necessarily say that they pushed him there. But they were some definitely
I
indoctrination.
absolutely think they pushed him there, because there's no way that you would just accept that if you did not push them there.
Mm,
Like I said, some people lack knowledge. They're very incognizant of their dealings. Like I said, they probably had them hold bags. They had them wear shoes and dresses and stuff, and they thought it was funny.
right.
And that was, that was the failure on their behalf. So you are responsible if you're not conditioning and training your child to,
Mm,
be informed, like, yo, this is not what you're supposed to be doing. Because maybe if you just did that, nope, and told them not to do
right.
that, they would know, like, all right, let me go outside and pick up a ball or something like that. Let me go outside,
Hmm.
play with my friends, and learn, like, you know what I'm saying, what I should do, because some of your friends may have both parents or whatever like that, but or put them in like a mentorship program or something,
Right.
but that whole thing where I'll be like, oh, I don't need a man and stuff like that, but you raising a young man is insane.
Mm,
It's insane,
I concur. Man. Yeah, but that's pretty much it. I mean, I agree. You had some good points. I ain't gonna let you have some good points, but that's me morally and ethically, I think that is wrong. I think that is I could never support a child that does something like that. I could never have a child and be in support of that. But if you're a parent and you don't necessarily subscribe to that, I can see how children could get
Absolutely.
pushed into that. I can see because I can see them getting indoctrinated by
Hmm.
whatever it is, being indoctrinated, and then their
Politically,
parents. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. And
political
then they
indoctrination. You know what I'm
exactly,
saying?
and then
And, and
their parents don't really care. Their parents are like, yeah, I don't care if he's gay or not. And then them saying, okay, yeah, if that's what you feel like you are, then okay, I support it.
yeah, and I don't want to just make this. Now I am gonna make this about race, because I feel like, we got to understand that, and like, politically, like, the structures of our family, like, has
Hmm.
been destroyed.
Right.
Like, black families have been destroyed by welfare, laws and stuff like that when it comes up
Hmm.
to disciplining and stuff like that. And I feel like a lot of people just brainwashed nowadays, like, to live in a society where, oh, we're all the same and stuff like that. Like, we need to learn about history, man, and how buck breaking and the
Oh
effeminization
yeah,
of black men have been the plight since the beginning of America, man.
definitely.
It's been the plight and since the beginning of America. Men, not only women were raped, men were raped as
All
well. You
right,
know what I'm
chill out with the
saying?
R word. Chill out with the.
I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
Yeah, yeah. Chill out with
I
the R.
forgot. Yeah, we're on YouTube. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. Grape. You know what I'm saying? And my bad. Essay. That's a better
Yeah.
way of saying. And I think, a lot of people just don't really understand that. They feel like, oh, like we're all the same, and da da da. I'm like, nah, not in our community. Not in our community. We don't weren't looked at as the same because the laws weren't the same for us for a long time.
Right.
You know?
Yeah, man.
The laws weren't the same for us for a long time. And a
So
lot of people benefited
in
off of what
conclusion,
we done.
in conclusion, what would
So
you
we need to
say
stay
that
as a family.
in conclusion, what would you say that black men need to do better in terms of raising their children? What would you say in terms what should they? Because I feel like it. I feel like because when I was coming up, I never seen black fathers do this. So for me to see this is kind of crazy. So what would you say if this is the route that black modern day black fathers are going? What should they be doing better?
Choosing the right woman. That's number one.
That's a fact. That's a
Choose
fact. I
choosing the right woman. I would not want to mate with a woman that cares about politics more than they kill. I said
Right.
care about politics more than they care about their spirituality.
Right.
Yeah, a lot of people are in fear, and they put their faith in man more than their spirituality. See, if you have a woman that's spiritual, they know the code and they know the laws,
Mm-hmm.
and the laws ain't what we following over here. Like, I'm talking about in this country. Like, it's more than what is in this Babylonian country that we live in, where
And
everybody could identify as a fairy and stuff like that, and all this other
a
goofy
fairy.
nonsense. That's a real thing. The fairies.
Right.
What?
Nah,
People
yeah,
dress
yeah, I heard of
as
that. Now, now
I
before we
seen
get
them
out
in
of
real
here,
life. They
before we
dress
get out of here, I have to
in
read
the
this
summer,
poll.
90-degree.
Well, hold on. Before we get out of here, I got to read this poll to you now. I asked Muslim father takes gay son to prom. I said good parenting or bad parenting. 57% said
Said
good
good.
parenting.
Yeah.
43% said bad parenting. What
You
do you
know
think?
why? You know why? This speaks of the times that we live in. Like I said, we living in Babylon. Everybody uh everybody worships like a bunch of like everybody celebrates Easter, people celebrate Christmas,
Right.
all these pagan holidays without understanding that they're practicing witchcraft.
Mm.
Just unconscious, you know what I'm saying? And so if they're unconscious of that, else are they unconscious to?
Right.
The infrastructure of this country, the influences that they're being fed. A lot of people want to be liberals now. You know what I'm saying? So
Hmm.
it, I think this is the failure of people's spirituality, and it's the failure of people's cognizance.
Mm.
you know. And if people actually paid attention to what's going on out here, they would actually make a stand. I'm not saying, listen, I'm not speaking hate on people and stuff like that. Not at
Right.
all. Like, you know what I'm saying? If that's who you are, that's who you are. You know what I'm saying? More power to you. I just don't agree with certain things because this is me. I'm speaking just like, someone who is of a different community. They're gonna only speak on their behalf. You can't speak for a heterosexual. You can't
Right.
speak for what a heterosexual do in a house. As far as training up a child the way they should go. So back to your main question, as far as what could man do is being a better chooser in the woman that they get. And a lot of men are not good at choosing who
Right.
they decide to mate with because you know you seen characteristics of this individual being out of control, and then you have a child with them, and then they weaponize that child against you. That's not good. That's not good. And sometimes you will see instances like this that we just seen because there's a lot of that. And I don't know if it's intentional or not, because how do you deal with a man that you decide to have a child with, and then all of a sudden the child ends up this way?
Right.
The child doesn't have access to their parent. You know what I'm saying? Their other parent. You know what I'm saying? Because y'all relationship didn't work out the way that it was supposed to, that the way you thought it would work out and stuff like that. It's like it shouldn't have to be like that. And I'm not saying that's always, but there's always two sides to every story. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
And that's what people got to understand. Like we can see this one person, with this child, but also you got to look at the actions of the other parent.
Right.
And I don't think people take that into consideration. They'll just look at it like, oh well, this kid is with this, but what happened to the other parent?
Mm.
Now, if you are not incarcerated and you're not doing your job as a parent, women also are not good at choosing fathers as well. I mean, men to be fathers of kids as well. You go out with this dude who happens to be a low life, in the streets, possibly may get killed. He probably make fast money or whatever like that, but
Mm-hmm.
what example are you leaving for that child? You can't say that, oh, this person is reckless, abusive, and stuff like that when he's out here clapping people on the streets every day. You
Right.
know what I'm saying? I'm just giving examples of why things are going the way they're going, and why uh some of these young men are fatherless, or some of these young women are fatherless, or parentless in general,
Right.
because of the actions and the selfishness of today's society.
Right.
So a lot of people shouldn't have children if they're not going to think about their education. They're not going to think about the influences in their life, because your child, listen, if you're heterosexual, your child just don't end up like this. They
Right.
don't, without a certain influence. So,
Cole, you got anything you want to plug? We're gonna close it out, man.
uh, nah, not today, man. You know what I'm saying? This was a good topic. I'm surprised I stayed up this late, but you know what I'm saying.
Yeah, man.
And I already know there's people. I mean, what, there's like 6 people in here still.
Yeah, there was a couple heads in here. Yeah, it was like 6 last time I checked. Yeah. Yeah, so pretty much, I mean, that's what we're feeling on the situation. That's how we feel. Let us know in the comment section. Let us know how y'all feel about this
My
video.
bad, I dropped out.
What happened?
My bad, I dropped out for a second.
Oh no, it's
Yeah,
all good.
but close out. You got, you good, you
Yeah,
good.
yeah. No, yeah, I told people, yeah, just let us know how you feel in the comment section. Let us know how you feel about this video. Make sure you like, comment, subscribe, man. We out. Y'all have a good night, man.